Once a great man found a butterfly egg in his garden. He saw the butterfly trying hard to get out of its cocoon but could not get out. The newly hatched butterfly is trying hard but is unable to extract the rest of its body from the egg or cocoon from which it was hatched. At a point where it seems that the butterfly may not be able to get out, it stops. The man was very mesmerized by this scene. And he went and cut off the rest of the cocoon with a pair of scissors and took out the butterfly. Doesn't it look like the man did the butterfly a favor? In fact, this seems to be a benefit, but the greatest damage to the butterfly has been caused by this man. The butterfly's body was preparing itself for the challenges ahead as it struggled to emerge from its cocoon. His flapping wings were helping the God-given fluid in the pouch to strengthen his wings. But while this man helped it emerge effortlessly, its wings remained immature. The butterfly was never able to fly properly for the rest of its life, because its wings were not strong enough to fly. Story lesson. Every problem in life, and every obstacle makes us stronger for the days ahead. You can't grow up without suffering. So it is harmful for us to sit on the hope of others or rely on others to face the challenges of our life. A house catches fire and everyone tries to put it out. There was also a bird's nest in that house. The bird filled its beak with water and started pouring it into the fire. He went again and again to bring water and pour it on the fire. A crow was watching it and said to the bird, "You fool, no matter how hard you try to put out this fire, it will not go out." Then the bird said, "I know, the fire will not be extinguished, but whenever this fire is mentioned, I will be counted as the party to extinguish the fire and you will be counted as the party to see the joke." Once a group of frogs were passing through the forest. At that time, 2 frogs from the group of frogs fell into a deep hole. The hole was so deep that it was very difficult to get out of it. Still, the 2 frogs were trying their best. The other frogs in the group were saying that they had no hope of getting out of this hole. But the 2 tame frogs kept on trying, leaping wildly up and down the slope of the ditch to the steep end at the end and back down again. Then the rest of the frogs on the top shouted to them, "You can't climb up at all, this is a very big hole, and there is no way to get up from here." Their words were as if they wanted to say that only hard work will be gained. No, give up hope, accept death, and get rid of suffering. One of the 2 bangs listened to them and instead of rising to the top of the pit, jumped deeper and died. But the second frog began to jump more enthusiastically, and the frogs above began to shout louder, "Don't suffer this in vain, make death easy." But the frog finally came up. After climbing up, everyone in the group looked surprised at what the frog said. The frog said, "I got the courage to come up because of your encouragement from above. If it wasn't for you, I might have given up. I can't hear with my ears, I only saw with my eyes that you are yelling at me to come up." Story lesson. A little encouragement from people around helps people to move forward even in difficult situations. And success comes if you are persistent in your goals without listening to negative words. Once a king was in great danger with an eye problem. So the king goes to many places but can't heal his eyes in any way. Later that king found a hermit living in the forest of his kingdom. That monk can fix everything. Then the king went to that monk, went and told the monk to fix my eye problem. Monk saw and said, "King, I understand your problem. You do one thing from now on, just keep your eyes on the red thing. Just see the red color, then you will see everything is fine." The king said, "Okay, okay." The king went back to the kingdom and painted his palace and everything red. After a few days, the king's eyes started to improve. Then the king was happy and said to his soldiers, "Go and bring that monk, I want to reward him." Then when the monk came, the soldiers filled buckets and drenched him with red dye. Then the monk went to the king. The king asked him, "How are you?" Then the monk said, "You can see it," he said in an angry voice. "King, why did you ask me to dye it with such a red color?" Then the king said, "Why you tell me to see red color? If I don't give the color, I will have problems with my eyes if I see you later." Then the monk said, "King, you could have worn a pair of red glasses." Then the king said, "Oh really?" The king was ashamed. Then the monk said, "You see, King, when we are in trouble, we want to change everything around us, but we do not notice that the solution to the problem lies within us. We don't have to go to any big country to change ourselves, we can change ourselves from our own country. If I change, our family will change, our society will change, and if society changes, our country will change." The lesson of the story: we can solve many of our problems by making small changes in ourselves.